A shooting in Australia and Jewish people died.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
You're watching the MC Too Tall Show with your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host. It is never gross, MC Too Tall. So, I bring you all this sexiness to tell you that this is probably one of the more crucial MC Too Tall broadcasts in the history of the show. This is one of those pivotal ones, one of those history-making ones. One of those in-depth, exclusive type broadcasts. There was a shooting in Australia, Bondi Beach, Australia. And Jews died, at least a dozen. Among them, a rabbi. And people will focus on this being an anti-Semitic attack. And yes, it's a very crucially bad thing to single out a single group of people and attack them and shoot at them and all that. I understand that. But let's not get away from the real main focus of the story. The real main focus of the story is that two gunmen showed up to a beach and opened fire on a land where no civilian is allowed to have a gun at all. You're not allowed to have any firearms. Not an AR-15, not an AK-47, not a .38 revolver, not a .22, not even a little Saturday night special. You're not allowed to have any type of firearm, period, in all this land. An entire continent where you're not allowed to own a firearm if you're a civilian. Just leave the firearms to law enforcement and military. Well, how did these guys get guns? And I'm sorry, but if somebody else had a gun, a civilian, with intentions of protecting his fellow civilians and blown these bastards' heads off, I can almost guarantee that a hell of a lot less than a dozen people would be dead. Now, they're saying that a store owner, a guy named Ahmed Al-Ahmed, tackled one of the gunmen, wrestled the gun out of the guy's hand, aimed it at him, and held him at bay until law enforcement got there. All that good stuff. Okay, but how often can an unarmed person disarm an armed person without getting themselves killed and getting more people killed. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that the anti-gun lobbies want us sitting there like dysfunctional, inbreeding white trash getting picked off by Antifa or whoever doesn't like us. In this case, it was some radical Islamist shooting at Jews in Australia. But over here, although there's some radical Islamists here, you still got your Antifas here, which I think are the real threat to human society here in America. And yeah, if the anti-gun lobbyists had their ways, we'd be sitting there like bucktooth, inbreeding white trash getting picked off by these scrawny little bastards that are barely strong enough to pull a trigger. There are people out there who actually believe that abolishing the Second Amendment or redefining it is logical in some way. I say the Second Amendment covers all types of firearms, from the 38 to the AR-15 to the AK-47 to a friggin' grenade launcher to an anti-aircraft missile if you feel you need that to protect your home and your dog. Then damn it, if you can afford it and you feel you need it, go get it. Use it responsibly. And if you're not responsible with it, then you go to jail. But the whole notion that you should never own one in the first place, regardless of what your prior record is, whether you have a clean prior record or not, is ludicrous. I don't believe in bans on any type of firearm from law-abiding citizens with clean records that have zero firearm offenses in their past records. Because incidents like this, you have a whole country, a whole continent where nobody's allowed to have a firearm, and then they're sitting ducks for people who show up with a firearm that they're not supposed to have. It goes to show you, somehow, some way, whether the firearm is allowed or not, whoever wants to use one to do harm will show up with one and do harm. The states and cities throughout the United States that have the strictest gun laws have the highest homicide rate relating to firearms. Well, how did that happen, Bucky? Well, that happened because there's nobody there to shoot back at these bastards and disintegrate their heads right off their bodies. As it should be, by God, for the love of Jesus. And that's where the problem lies, folks. That's where the problem lies. They want you to be a sitting duck. And Australia, let that be a prime example. Let that be the example that whether you're armed or not, somebody that wants to shoot you will be. And they will have the exact weapon you need to protect yourself from them, and they will use theirs against you. An unarmed sitting duck. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. I heard there's a lot more people that were injured. Christ be with the families of those people that were injured and killed. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross, MC Too Tall. Keep it classy out there, yeah?